Welcome to the Boss Room. My name is Alex Kaz, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Shamster and Imamu. How you guys doing tonight?
Imamu's back in the house.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for having me. It was so much fun the last time. Amazing group of guys here.
Boss Brigade.
And we also have a special guest tonight, Omie. How you doing tonight, bro?
What's going on, guys? Pretty good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. You ready to talk some video games tonight?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into the hype block.
Hype block.
Hype block.
We have a couple things PlayStation related. So this week there was a PSP 5G rumor, and very related to that is the PS5 Pro rumor. Now,
Bought it. March 2021.
You got to give credit to Shamster. He did say there's a PS5 Pro that will be coming, and it probably eventually will. But honestly, this is a bunch of hogwash. It being coming soon.
Which one, the 5G or the Pro?
Both of them.
I honestly think it's going to be 2 years.
Honestly, the PSP 5G rumor, that would be amazing if it came true. I've been waiting for another version of the PSP forever. I think the PSP was way ahead of its time, and right now would be prime. But with the advent of cell phones and how powerful they are, it would probably become a redundant thing to launch. That's why I don't feel like it's ever going to happen, not this time around. It will probably be better to just launch one of their cloud
Now.
servers or PS Nows onto cell phone apps and call it a day. But creating your own hardware would also keep it simpler for developers to program for, particularly if you're using a controller. They'll be able to program it because they would know that the controller it's set, and they don't have to worry about other variables. But that's the only reason why I would see that they would launch it, unless if they launch it with the same processing power as the PlayStation 5, and the developers don't have to develop for it. That's a far fetch.
That would be pretty crazy, having that same processing power on a handheld. That would be pretty insane.
It's not going to happen. They've always been trying to catch up on the handhelds. They're never going to be fully there in regards to being at the exact same spot. Everything's going mobile now anyway. So we'll see.
I could see AMD doing something similar because AMD is killing the market right now. Intel is lagging behind. And so if AMD could develop a processor where the developers don't even have to really create new code for this handheld, they have a winner. But if it's a whole different development process, similar to how they had issues with the PSP, where the developers would look at, hey, which console is actually making money right now, and why should I spend the time to develop for an inferior package? But if the developers just have to develop and it actually matches for the PlayStation 5 as well as the handheld, that's pretty much the winner, because the developers are the ones that make the software sell.
So wait, are you saying they are going to come out with one, or they're not going to come out with one?
I would say I don't think they will unless they can fill in those voids, those attributes that I just mentioned, which is extremely hard, and I haven't heard of a AMD mobile as of yet. NVIDIA can do it because they've done it. But when it comes to AMD, they haven't announced anything. But the path that AMD is going, I don't see it too far-fetched that they would launch one. I think they would, but only if Sony and Microsoft decide to do something about it.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. So
that's not going to happen.
So here's my thought of that. It's the PSP 5G is definitely not going to happen because the CEO of Sony PlayStation, Jim Ryan, basically confirmed that last year in December. But he basically said that they're no longer making handhelds. But playing devil's advocate, as Imamu was saying, NVIDIA does have the chip in the Switch, which is mobile technology, and developers may already kind of be used to making multiple versions of games because they're making them for docked mode and handheld mode for the Switch. So developers in theory could, make versions for a mobile version and a full on console version if at least the specs are somewhat similar.
I think there's a market for it though, because I mean, if you see how popular the Nintendo Switch has been, and then Nintendo came in and released a Switch Lite, there's definitely a market for a PSP, and I could see them investigating and actually doing research and seeing if this would be a profitable way of them releasing this. So I wouldn't say that they will not release it. I think they'll probably do a little more research, and we could possibly see this coming.
Of course they're going to try to research it and try to sell something if they can make money off it. What I'm thinking is it might be further out than it sounds, and what they probably do is something more like the Switch, where everything's going mobile anyway. So I could see them doing something that's kind of like it could be the PS6P or something, but they would definitely want to change the name.
They did the PSP phone a while ago. I could see them doing something similar where it's an actual phone.
It's like the next iteration of, remember PlayStation TV?
They did have the Xperia phone, which kind of like focused a lot on gaming and stuff like that. But how many people do you see walking around with the Xperia phone? I haven't seen one live.
I feel like that phone was more that phone was more for like the European market. I don't think that was for the American market.
No, it wasn't.
No, I agree.
The PSP 5G, even if it comes out, how much do you think it would be every month just to have that service? Because that's still 5G is still new anyway, and it's still, the network's not even fully developed. So you're probably spending at least 30 or 40 or $50, which they'll probably give you access to all the PlayStation Plus content and all the access to PlayStation. What is it? PlayStation Live? What is it?
PlayStation Now.
Yeah. And so you're going to be paying for it. So it seems like a premium product. It might be experimental. It's not coming out for a while, if anything. And I'm still leaning towards it being a part of the next add-on to the either PlayStation 5 or being a big part of the PlayStation 6.
To be honest, they will launch PSP 5G, but it's actually a phone that they subsidize it with other carriers.
They're dropping my iPhone if that was ever released. Yeah.
I get it if it worked like an N-Gauge.
Mm-hmm.
You guys remember that?
Oh, I remember that.
It had so many buttons.
But anyway, so another rumor that's actually related to that, that's the total opposite of it. And I'll just touch on it quickly. The Nintendo Switch, there's a rumor that they might come out with a TV-only console.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I can see them doing that because they always do sort of the unexpected, like they did when they launched the 3DS with 3D, where you don't need glasses. They just randomly do stuff like that. So it's like the opposite of what you would think. Because I'm always thinking, like, what are they going to come out with next? Switch Pro, Switch Mini, all that stuff. But it might do it. It might even launch Breath of the Wild 2 next to it, or with it, along with it, because they kind of need to at this point, because they're going to start getting left in the dust with PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. So I don't know.
Apparently, to go along with that, Switch developers have been told to be ready to make their games in 4K. So I don't think it'll be native 4K. It'll probably be upscaling, but that's a good sign if there is this, even if it's just TV only version that upscales to 4K. That'd be nice, yeah.
But see, the other thing is, I think only so many people when they do surveys, at least from what I hear, that a lot of them point towards people using it in handheld mode only. I use it on my TV mostly. But I think it's like 25% use it on TV, but I don't know if that's true. And they probably know that PlayStation and Xbox have no problem with people who only want it on the TV. So they could expand back into that. Still part of the Switch, the whole Switch mantra. Because if you think about it, you could switch to anything. You could switch from the TV to the handheld with the actual the original one. But then with the other ones, you could switch and change your mind. You could be on the TV, or you could change your mind and you could just go remote or mobile, like with the Switch Lite. So I could definitely see him doing that. But I just wanted to mention that because we were talking about the PS5 or the PSP 5G rumors. And to me, this is almost like the opposite because they're going away from mobile. But we'll see.
Well, if they're going to do 4K, it definitely has to be plugged in, especially for the power requirements for a GPU. I could see them doing that. I don't think it'll be too far-fetched. They don't have to worry about developers developing for it because it'll be essentially the same platform, just with a higher and more powerful GPU.
There are a lot of different rumors that are out there in regards to this, and some of them that I've heard are, a TV only switch. There is potentially a new dock that would upscale to 4K, which I would prefer that, so I could just use my normal switch on there.
That actually would be a lot more feasible too. Probably be easier for them to do that, just a dock that upscales to 4K instead of, brand new hardware.
They're not going to do that because they want you to pay full price. That's my only thought on
That's
that.
kind of what I was just about to say. Nintendo's not in the market of saving you money.
And I don't know if you noticed, but like I mentioned, they do weird stuff. So they came out the Switch, they had the dock, and then for a while, and it might even still be true, you couldn't even buy a first party dock anywhere unless you find it somehow, maybe like directly from Nintendo or pay a lot of money from like a third party seller. But it's like they just do whatever they want, so it's almost hard to predict.
There actually is something that came out earlier this week about the docks potentially being discontinued because someone had contacted the Nintendo UK store and they had said that the docks are discontinued in the UK. So
interesting.
That would make sense too, because that means they were pushing everyone to the Switch Lite, and now they'll be pushing everyone to the TV console, the TV only console. Because why would they want you to have a dock if they were pushing for the TV only console?
I guess what he's also saying is that they're probably replacing it with a different version. Also, maybe that rumor might be correct.
My guess is that they're going to do a full-on new Switch with like a better screen and a new dock, and it'll have like maybe Pro Joy-Cons or something like that. I would hope, but that would be my guess, is that they're going to do some sort of Pro version, and because the parts have become so cheap over the years, that they'll be able to make a nicer version and just have that basically replace the current Switch.
I think they're going to hit the market when PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series is pretty much half-life.
Yeah, when the hype diminishes a bit.
Exactly.
I think it's going to come out in March 2021 when the Pro comes out, the PS5 Pro.
Yep.
So that means it won't. That's perfect.
That's a double call.
Well, speaking of PS5 Pro rumors, so what do you think? You think that is going to happen? Do you think that
you noticed the transition?
No, so first of all, I've watched a few videos on this, and the actual patent was filed in early 2019. So from what I've heard, it's actually a potential solution for Sony releasing the PS5 in 2019 because AMD had not advanced their technology enough. But since they released it in 2020, they had the chip ready to go for the PS5, so they didn't need to use the dual GPUs.
Maybe, but it still wouldn't be bad if they used dual GPUs, especially if they wanted to compete with the PC market.
There's no reason to, though.
If they wanted to compete with the PC market, it would matter, or it would be a good reason. But I don't think they'd probably do that.
Well, not even the PC market is using dual GPUs anymore.
Yeah, the other thing is like the GPUs change so quickly that like them locking into GPUs on a console like that, GPUs become obsolete so fast.
Exactly.
I
don't think that they do it.
So do consoles, and that's probably why they
right.
They
so I don't think they would ever like try to compete with PCs because PCs are pretty much plug and play.
I don't think they'll try to compete, but I could see them going for 2 GPUs. But there's definitely going to be PS5 Pro.
I couldn't see that. I wouldn't see that.
No, it would be a waste of
maybe
money,
not 2 GPUs.
to be honest. 2 GPUs, you don't need it. Like the RTX 3080 and the 3090, those things will last for a long time. Some people in the PC market, they just upgrade their GPUs, not because the previous one was slow, just so that way they can, boast that they have the latest graphics cards. Because these things are a beast right now.
Yeah, but they didn't. Omie, you said they're obsolete like in a very short period of time.
Well, because they release so many so quickly.
Maybe obsolete is a harsher word to use, but I would say if the 4050 comes out right now, that doesn't make the 3090 any less of a powerful card.
Is it 3090 even out, or 3080 is? I know that.
3080.
3080 you can't
3080
get.
And 3090s are out. The 3090s are designed for. I mean, it could do 8K graphics. So right now you have the what is it? The 3060s?
3060 just came out last week, I think, and those sold out fairly quickly. But I did see them available, at least unlike the 3080s.
The 3090s are so expensive too. I think they're sold out. I don't think I've seen them anywhere available. I think
Just
you can
on
get
YouTube.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be getting them soon since we're getting so huge. We'll just get them sent over.
Yeah, the 3090s. It's pretty much was like a joke. If you have the money, just buy it. You don't need it.
Yep.
Just because you don't really have any monitors. That's 8K right now that can actually use the full potential of that GPU. It's almost like it's just like the Apple launching that gold Apple Watch with diamonds all over it. That's just like
Omie has that. You did a review on that.
Yeah, it's obsolete by now. That's
not only 8K but 8K HDR. I mean, that's just a beast.
That's 8Karat HDR.
8Karat.
Yeah, I mean, $1,500 for a GPU. I mean, you can build a computer with $1,500.
No, the 3080 is a much better option to get if you had if you could even get that, which you still can't. But
and that's gonna segue into my other topic as well, but I'll wait for that.
Ooh, teasing the audience.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah.
Wait around for it.
Boom.
But yeah, I don't think that the PS5 Pro is going to happen anytime soon. That's obviously, so if it does come out in March of 2021,
it's going to be either March 2021 or 2 years from now.
I will buy it. I will buy it for Shamster if it comes out in March of 2021.
This is almost like watching,
or 2 years from now.
This is almost like watching an Apple keynote, and the second they're done, they're already talking about the next iPhone.
It's the person that wants to get to be the first one that they said that it was going to happen when it eventually does. You know what I mean?
And it's also going to be lighter and slimmer.
Listen, there's going to be a PS5 Slim. Obviously they will, and the Xbox will do that, but maybe in the next 3 years.
No, it's going to be a PS5 Pro Slim 5G.
Jeez.
That's what it's going to be.
That's the one I'm waiting for.
March 2021. March 2021.
I think it's already sold out.
It's the size of a PS5, but as a handheld, so it's just really heavy with a giant screen on it.
And you could use it as a phone.
They're taking pre-orders right now, just like Tesla does with their cars, 5 years before they release it. Send me money.
You only gotta throw $25 at them too, and they'll hold it for you.
Listen, I've already reserved the Cybertruck. Okay.
Ooh.
It's only $50 to reserve it. We might as well all reserve it.
It was $100.
See what happens.
Cybertruck, do an unboxing of that when you get it.
Unboxing of the Cybertruck. Oh, if it came in a box, I would be so happy.
We could do like a final fight round on it where everyone tries to destroy it, but it's like bulletproof and shockproof, and it's like, isn't it indestructible?
No, I saw the keynote. I don't think I would test the glass.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Doesn't it? It's bulletproof, but he shot it and it went through like both sides or something like that.
Did he shoot it? He used a metal ball.
He threw a metal ball.
Threw like a stone at it or something, and it went through both sides.
No, it was a metal ball.
It was a metal ball.
All right, so we got a surprise guest.
Surprise guest tonight.
Surprise! What's going on?
X-Wolf.
X-Wolf, how you doing tonight, bro?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
What's going on, man? X-Wolf.
Our next topic is about PAX having 2021 in-person dates as early as June 2021.
Wait, so they're not even thinking about doing this virtually? They're
going all in.
They're going all in.
They're not quite sure yet. They're not quite sure yet, but that's what they want to do because a lot can change between now and June.
Yeah, I don't know if the city of Boston's going to let that happen.
Well, they have it scheduled right now, and they're banking on the vaccines. So, I mean, that's I think their hope.
Yeah, they're all in.
That's a huge gamble. Let
me tell you a story just so you know what it's like there. You go into so you're walking around, you could buy stuff, you could do all the PAX stuff. But then when you go to the side rooms, like where the breakout rooms would be if it was like a business convention, as one example, you'll walk into a giant room and there's these huge beanbag chair things. I don't know the company's name, but they look comfortable, they look nice, they're all over the place.
The Love Sack? Is it the Love Sack?
It's like a cozy sack or something like that. I'm not sure. It's like a big beanbag chair that you can mold and shape into whatever form you want. It's huge.
It's the Love Shack.
Oh man!
But whatever it is, the whole room is on the Love Shack, and they're all laying there playing handheld games like Switch, 3DS, Vita, whatever. They're just everywhere, plopped out all over these giant mushy chairs. Get up, the next
sounds
person
like
lays
the vid
down.
pack.
What's that?
Sounds like the vid sack.
It's a something sack. It's a something sack that everyone's like coughing on and licking and just like there's hairs all over. So I don't touch those sacks. I stay away from them. But
yeah, get away from the hairy sacks.
Oh my gosh.
It's definitely something that if you were a COVID-19 virus, you would be interested in hanging out. You would like to go.
So this sounds like Chuck E. Cheese for adults.
Only 100 times more people.
Sack.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not going then. So what do you think about September? You think that's more feasible?
For me, it's not. I'm going to go next. If anything, I'll wait till.
I don't even think 2021 at all is.
Either do I.
They got to stretch it out another year, or do it virtually for 2021. I mean,
it's not even just the virus. It's also the fact that, like, are you comfortable going into an auditorium or a giant room with like 500,000, or not that many, but like 50,000, whatever?
Yeah, that's too much, man. That's just way too much people.
I mean, you could go if you have to go Friday, but I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, there's no half anything not going.
So anyway, maybe they'll be successful. Maybe they won't. I mean, it is a good time. I want to go, but I mentally can't. A lot of reasons I can't do that.
My guess is, if anything, it'll be a media only event to like show off new games.
Yeah,
with masks on. I don't know.
I would rather watch somebody that's going there personally and just like hopefully they're streaming, so I could just watch who they're streaming.
And then I was thinking, well, if they do it, is it possible to take like a convention center with maybe 50,000 people and social distancing them and like make it like that's not even.
Oh, they probably limit the amount of tickets because those locations will probably have a limit of how many people. So instead of 50,000, it'll probably be half of that, and they would keep the spacing. They might remove the ball thing that you were talking about.
The sack,
stuff like that.
Yeah, they might remove that.
The vid sack.
Yeah, they're gonna take that away. They better. If they don't, that's a red flag, and you should just leave.
Actually, I don't want them to get rid of it. I actually want to see it now. That's talking about it.
I got pictures of it. I'll post them in the Discord channel. I just gotta find it.
Please do so.
I got pictures because I thought it was ridiculous and hilarious. Well, so when I went to PAX last, it was maybe 5 days before we were officially in a pandemic, or like a week or something like. So it was already like there was word everywhere, but we already had our tickets, and like it just started spreading the news about the virus over here. So we just. Wow. It was like 5 days away or like a week or whatever. We're like, I guess we'll go because it wasn't really here yet. But then there was a reported case on the West Coast, and then we were like, uh-oh. So the whole time we're there, we're nervous, and we were careful. Like no one would shake your hand or anything like that. And it was actually a lot of companies pulled out. Sony pulled out last year, it was this year, 2020 in March. So it was like beginning of March. So it was cold. Sometimes it's a little warmer when it's closer to the spring, but I'm not going back.
Nintendo, they were the only big three that were there, right?
They were there. I don't remember if Microsoft was there. There was a lot of like I think Square Enix was there. I think if I'm remembering correctly, there was a lot of big stuff there, but it was definitely noticeable that it wasn't nearly as big as it was before. Like Facebook's Oculus was there. It was still cool. It was actually kind of better in some ways because it wasn't as crowded, but it was still crowded enough where it'd be like a super duper spreader event or whatever they call it.
How did Facebook deal with their Oculus sharing?
Oh
everything.
My God!
Well, they were spraying them and wiping them, but like, come on.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Agreed.
Yeah, not anymore. I mean, for at least, I mean, even in 2 years, you're still going to be a little bit more careful, or a lot more careful and more nervous. So,
I agree.
I think they're just planning it just in case. But I think there's already been fallout, and people are already. The general sense on like Twitter and things like that is just like people are like, nope.
I think they just scheduled it just in case, like you were saying, the vaccine does happen. So, I mean,
and it just gets distributed to every single person, every state. But
even after I get the vaccine, I'm still going to be like socially distanced from people still for a while, just to, because I don't know, I'm not bothered by socially distancing people, to be honest.
Either am I. It's a little bit more peaceful and relaxing.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the people that are thriving on this situation are gamers.
Well, you can tell by the prices going up. Everything is expensive now.
All right.
On to the boss bits.
Boss bits.
This is where we talk about games we've been playing recently, recent pickups, recent deals, recent mods. So let's get to our guest, Omie. What have you been playing first?
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty Warzone. It's a game I've been concentrating on this week.
It's on the Xbox One.
Yep, Xbox One. Any of you guys play that?
No.
I've downloaded Warzone on my PlayStation 4, but I didn't get past the tutorial.
Same with me. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
man.
actually told Omie about it because I knew he was into it, and he was like telling me, "Oh, when are you gonna get on that?" And I was like, "All right, And I started the tutorial, and then I just was like, "Nah." Whatever.
Don't you have like 150 custom loadouts or something like that, Omie?
No, you have 10.
Oh, that's the max.
Yeah, 10 custom loadouts. But I mean, they're always adding weapons pretty much every week, so you can cycle through them. But there's meta weapons, and those are usually the ones that you stick to, because everyone else is using them and they're overpowered. So might as well just use those, because if you use ones that are not overpowered, you're just gonna get killed really quickly. But the game's really, really fun, and it's extremely competitive.
Are you playing it on a console or a PC?
Yeah, I'm playing it on console. Playing on Xbox.
Xbox, right?
Yep.
So the next question to that, if I pick it up for the PC, would I be able to play with you?
Of course, yeah. You can play it. Yeah, it's cross-play, so you can play it on PC, and I can play it on Xbox, and
All
can
right.
go on it.
So I will join you. I won't leave you alone.
Excellent. Yes.
And you can play PlayStation 5 on there too, right? I mean, it's cross-platform for all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
all
cross-play.
three.
Yeah, we should
Excellent.
actually all play it and see how we do. And
Ooh, boss
Ooh,
up.
yeah, that's
Boss
it.
Brigade.
I'll try it out.
next
I'll
week
take
we
you
can
on
brag to see who the better player is.
Well, if it's not you, then that's the problem, because it sounds like that's all you do.
that. Yeah, I know, right? He has all the meta weapons and stuff. We're gonna be fighting him with a pistol, and he's gonna be shooting us one time with a.
He's got the golden gun.
Got the golden gun.
From 007, from GoldenEye. That's a microtransaction for sure, if he does have that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Pay to play.
Anything else, homie? Anything else you've been playing?
That's all I've been playing for now.
X-Wolf, what about you?
I've been playing this game called Genshin Impact. It's a pretty fun game, man.
Ooh, where are you playing that on?
I'm playing it on the PlayStation 4.
Okay. Is it a lot like Breath of the Wild, or?
It is to a certain aspect, because Breath of the Wild has a lot more mazes and a lot of more cool stuff that you can do with certain skills, like the magnet, and you can shoot an object across and combine stuff. But when it comes to elements, that game Breath of the Wild has nothing on Genshin Impact.
Ooh.
There's so much more that you can do, because you can make all these different type of elemental combinations to the point that it really becomes OP once you start to break the game with certain kind of things.
When did that come out?
Like it's pretty sick. It already came out.
Came out a few months ago.
Wait, did that game start as on the mobile version? I thought I had seen it on mobile first.
It's on mobile, it's on PS4, and it's on PC.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's on everything. It's about to be on the Switch soon too.
What about the art style? What's the art style like?
The art style is like Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Breath of the Wild.
So this was the game that when the game was announced, some guy was so mad in China that he broke his PS4 Pro.
Wow. Why was he mad?
What?
Because it was like Breath of the Wild.
Oh, because they copied?
Or it looked like it, but apparently the game looks similar, but once you actually play it, it doesn't look very different.
Do you have to climb towers and to open up the map?
I mean, you can climb towers and stuff like that, but unlike Breath of the Wild, like, you can do a whole bunch of things to travel around. There's fast traveling, you can glide places. There's a whole bunch of like right now there's a gliding event where you basically have to go through this trial where you glide through a whole bunch of obstacles, and they give you like 2 skills that you can do now. You can because you usually are able to just glide from point A to point B. You can't really use no skills to make you fly up.
Wait, so it's not like gliding
faster.
like in Breath of the Wild where you...
Yeah, you just glide. Yeah, nah. There's like little rings that make you go faster. You can use skills that can
Like,
make you
it
levitate
sounds like Diddy
up
Kong
higher
Racing, to
now.
be honest with you. I'm not even joking.
It's pretty dope, man. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
So X-Wolf, what's the normal gameplay like? Is it just similar, like a third-person action type game?
normal gameplay is sick because it's a gacha game. You know,
Yep.
like you roll for certain kind of characters and stuff like that. So if you're lucky, you get like 5-star characters. Like I got lucky twice. You know, I got a Diluc, he's a 5-star character. And I got a Zhang Li, he's this new 5-star character that came out for this patch, and he's a Earth 5-star character. So all of them have their own, you know, special abilities and unique move sets. For example, Diluc is a great sword user, and Zhang Li, he's a staff user. So they both use different types of weapons. So you want to do big damage, you use Diluc. You want to use a support character and all that kind of good stuff, you use Zhang Li. You're able to use 4 characters at the same time too, so it's pretty neat.
So that game sounds a lot like League of Legends.
Yeah, but League of Legends is like a RTS,
right?
Though,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But you can use an abundance of different characters in one gameplay, you know. So I would agree with you on that.
The actual like setup almost reminds me of almost like a Xenoblade Chronicles or East 8 or that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So is it that in depth? Like there's 3 economies in Xenoblade Chronicles. is it anything like that where it's just ridiculous?
I wouldn't. It's ridiculous in a mythical way, because like there's gods all over the place, you know. So like, I don't really follow the story. I just press X all day. I just get to the action. You know what I mean? Like
the actual story or gameplay to me seems more like a Phantasy Star Online because it's an online game mostly,
Right.
and you're just basically leveling up for the most part.
Yep. I agree.
Sounds. What's it called again? Say it one more time, just in case they didn't get that.
Genshin Impact.
Anything else you've been playing, X-Wolf?
Not really, man. It's all Genshin Impact over here, man.
He's serious.
Similar to Omie, just really involved in one game and, you know, just going hard like that.
One game, trying to perfect it.
How many custom loadouts do you get?
You can. It's not about custom loadouts. You can literally just like, all your characters are different. They go by artifacts. Whatever artifacts you put on your character, you basically make that character. That you can combine. Okay, there's 5 slots. Each slot, each artifact can have a whole a trait, a whole set. You know, like 5 pieces of this, you get 2 bonuses by having 2 pieces on, and all this kind of.
Okay.
So you can mismatch, you know, whatever, you know.
One more question. Is there a golden gun?
Nah, man.
We need the golden gun. Come on.
There are 5-star weapons that are like the golden gun.
Platinum
You know
guns?
what I mean? So yeah, man, they get crazy.
Golden swords.
Cool.
I always pick the pink sword.
I know, right? The one that nobody wants to
No
have.
one
That's
wants
like the
to-
most
yep,
powerful
exactly.
weapon.
All right, Imamu, what about you?
Similar gameplay with Gears Tactics and Forza, but one game that I'm looking forward to, which it's been a while since I've actually, you know, pre-ordered any games, but Cyberpunk 2077. That, just seeing the gameplay in that game just has me drooling right now. It's just
Oh yeah.
insane, the customization, the world building, the storyline, the different factions. It's been a while since I've
graphics.
seen a game this massive, and the graphics are gorgeous. So that's the kind of.
Are you getting it on GOG or Steam?
I will be picking up at Steam, definitely.
Okay.
Steam is my place. And that's pretty much the big game. So I can't wait in 5 days, so that way we can chat about it. Hopefully everyone will join in.
Man, so I actually do really want to get it, but I just want to wait for the PS5 version to come out because like I just want them to put that PS5 patch on it now that I got that, you know what I mean?
That's a rental only, though. You're not going to own that. Do you think they'll come out with a PS5 physical disc, or just a download update?
CD Projekt Red, they go hard on the physical editions. Even like the PS4 physical edition has like a map and a manual and all this stuff. So I definitely think they'll come out with a physical version of the PS5 version.
Well, so hopefully it's not like the Mortal Kombat 11 physical version, because even that has like a for PS5 has a download code where I think you just get the base game on the disc and then everything else is the download code. So it could be something like that. Hopefully, it's not.
I'm pretty weak, so I'll probably end up getting it.
Me too.
But isn't the pre-order for Cyberpunk 2077 gonna actually be upgradable when you get the PS5?
Well,
Like
that's
if I
why I
was to
don't know
get
if
it
they're
for the
gonna.
PS4 or one of that.
Yeah, it does have the free upgrade patch, but I kind of want the PS5 box of that. I don't know. I'm
I
weird like
totally
that.
get it. Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
I know you're a
I get it.
big fan of just collectibles, so
Collectibles. Yeah.
Cos won't he won't even touch a PS4 anymore. It's almost he's embarrassed of it now.
it's disgusting.
Pretty much.
I'm a digital guy, man. I just like to download. You know,
Physical
just
for sure,
download it,
physical for
have it.
life. One
Yeah,
thing I would
like
do
I
though,
like the downloads too.
if I get an Xbox ever, like I don't care if that one's digital only because it's a service anyway. So that's one I'll get the digital only version.
Am I the only one here that plays on Xbox?
Well, not really because
Oh, they're
I
PC. That's the same thing.
have the PC,
Yeah.
so
Right, yeah.
so I do have the Xbox per se, the
Yeah.
Game
Because it's a
Pass.
service. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
software now.
Just to be on your side, I'm originally an Xbox person, so I'm here with you, buddy.
Okay, excellent.
I'm playing on a PS4 now. Don't call me a traitor.
Ew, PS4.
But, yeah.
That's so last gen.
PS4.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
All
a
right.
traitor right there.
All right.
You're soft.
No, I actually I have no beef with Xbox. Like I actually think Game Pass is really cool, but I mean I already have enough games to play on my Switch and my PS5/PS4/ all my other retro consoles that I have games for that I still haven't played. So no reason to get an Xbox.
The only reason
Yep.
why I did not pick up the Xbox is, well, A, I can't find one.
Yep.
And B is because of the PC. So I do have the Alienware Aurora R10, which comes with
Oh,
the
nice.
RTX 3080. So I really lucked out. When I went to order it, they actually had the 3080 graphics card for cheaper than what they were selling in the market when no one could find it, and I ordered it, and I couldn't believe it came in. And then a week later, I actually went back to the website and it was gone. So and it hasn't been they haven't actually added new graphics card top end ones since today, since no one
It was
has
fake
it.
news.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which Alienware gaming PC do you have?
R10.
The R10.
Yes, I
Nice.
went with the AMD graphics.
Do you have cooling chambers and neon lights?
Yes, the front has whatever color you want, and the side has the Alienware logo and the name. And you could change the color whenever you want. And the one thing I before I actually bought it, I made sure I did my homework. You definitely want to pick up the water cooler for the processor because it makes it a lot quieter. And this computer is very quiet.
Nice.
But listening to the other users, if you get one with regular air cooling, this thing sounds like a jet engine. So, so with the GPU and everything, I hear it crank up a little bit, but not enough to distract you from gaming. And if you're gaming, you have a headset on anyway.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Don't
like,
you
you're-
want the jet engine sound when you're playing your flight simulator games?
Yeah, if you're playing like racing games, it's kind of cool.
No, but you're a flight sim guy with the 3 ultra wides and the 3 desks.
No, he's not a flight sim guy. I just mentioned it because Flight Simulator like really is tasking on PCs. So that was my
that was a joke. But
basically-
he said he had actually a cockpit, like a peripheral or whatever.
Well, I have a 3 monitor setup. That's pretty much what I said. And you
yeah.
spoke about the curved display, and I mentioned,
it looks like Minority Report.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's sick.
It's air screen.
I only have one 49-inch curved.
I actually
That's not enough.
I thought about the curve, and I went against it just because I can control what each monitor is doing, and I think it
Right.
gives me more flexibility. So that's why I went with 3 32-inch monitors. And 32 times 3, you get a lot bigger real estate.
Right.
So, and it works amazing, especially when you're playing a racing game. The front is the cockpit, and the sides are pretty much the terrain. So that's just an amazing. You just get immersed.
Forza Horizon must be amazing on that.
We talked about that last week. Listen to the archives.
Listen to episode 3.
Yeah, that was a big topic.
Now on to my boss bits. So, Shamster, you had some questions for me about the Pulse 3D, which I grabbed last week.
Well, yeah, so I'm not like an audiophile or anything, but I do like a nice sound, just like Omie likes a fine wine. Same type of thing. I want to know if it's luxurious, meaning I want luxury. I don't want to have to get up and charge my battery every 5 hours. Do you know what the battery? Did you test that out yet?
I haven't put a ton of time into it, so I played about 5 or 6 hours, and the battery bar has 3 bars on it. It is only missing 1 so far, so that seems pretty accurate to the potentially 12-hour battery life that they say. My guess is it'll be less than that because they're obviously going to advertise more, but my guess would be about 10 hours or so.
All right, so at this point, it's still kind of a guess, but it seems like it's not bad. It's not noticeably bad, if anything.
Nope.
All right, and the 3D sound. So I was watching a YouTuber, and he was talking about, and I'll have to give him a shout out through the Discord channel. I forget who he was off the top of my head, but I'll definitely do that. So he basically said he's in a warehouse, and on the left, so imagine being in the middle of a warehouse. On the left, there's 2 doors, one in the one corner and one in the other corner. He said with Pulse 3D, he couldn't necessarily differentiate which door a combatant was coming through. I think he was playing Call of Duty. Did you get that into it with the 3D sound, or did you play any games and try to notice the 3D sound?
So I actually did test it out a little bit earlier today. I was playing Miles Morales on PS5 with the Pulse 3D headset on, and one thing that I kind of tested it was I went to this room and it had this tape recorder in it, and what I did was I moved the camera around, and you could hear the audio go from different sides, from one side to the other, so you could definitely tell that based off of the camera angle, the audio itself was changing, so it definitely does have that effect.
Now, the reason I'm asking because I was looking into the SteelSeries Arctis 7P, and I watched some stuff on that, and it actually brought a lot of stuff to mind that I didn't really even think about. And one of those was, and we talked about this last week as well, the 3D sound itself. 3D sound is the software; it's not actually the hardware, but try to maximize how well it sounds using the software by using kind of like, and you mentioned this last week, Haas, the little speakers, multiple speakers instead of one, where they're trying to simulate the surround sound, which is surround sound. So it sounds like it does a good job of that. You didn't notice anything bad with that.
So far, I mean, it sounded really good.
How's the bass? Is it tinny, or is it? How are the highs versus the lows? Is I guess my question.
So as far as what I could tell, the bass actually sounded really good on the main menu when it was playing the audio on there, and then when I was listening to different songs on the main menu. Whereas actually in game, it didn't seem to use bass as much, so I couldn't really tell in there because I think it was trying to really. I don't think it was doing much with the bass because it was trying to have like an atmosphere because you could hear people and you could hear the honks and that sort of thing. When you're swinging around in New York City.
I think that's kind of what they focus on. So here's the reason, because I also use my headphones to watch movies. So I like the bass for explosions or whatever. But I can see what you're saying in the game. You want it to be clear, more crystal clear, especially if you're like Omie and you're camping in Call of Duty, and you want to make sure that you know where the enemy is when they're creeping up on you because you're camping.
Well, if we do bossed up in Warzone, then maybe I will use those and just have the slight advantage, but not really because Omi actually knows how to play.
Don't worry, I'll show you guys what camping is when we play.
He probably knows all the camp spots. Like, all right, I can breathe and know where you guys are at.
What about the last one? I guess is comfort. Are they comfortable? And again, the reason I noticed that is because the one I saw said for the Arctic series or the SteelSeries Arctic 7s, they're oval shaped. Sony went with a round design, so I'm curious to how comfortable they are.
So for me, my ears fit perfectly in there, so perfectly comfortable. And the actual way that it adjusts is there's a headband on the top, and then based on your head size, it adjusts based off that. So to me, it was pretty comfortable, and I had it on for about an hour at a time. I know you also had mentioned something about the button locations. So there's a few different things. There are sort of 2 selectors. One is for the game versus your voice setting. And then if you go down a little bit on the left-hand side, there's the volume button, which you can tell because there's an actual little raised button on there, so you can tell where the volume is. And then there, for muting the microphone, there's a button that presses in and presses out, so you can kind of tell if it's muted or not.
So you have a dedicated mute button?
So there's a mute button on the DualSense, and then there's also one on the headset itself too.
Yeah, on the headset. So that's cool because I didn't know that. Because one of the things, so I didn't even mention this, but one of my pickups was I was able to pre-order the SteelSeries Arctis 7P, and it's not going to be here for a while. And right now they're completely gone, like 1 to 3 months back order.
But Omie has that, so
I have the Arctis Pro Wireless headset, and for me, they're the best headsets ever. I use
Comfortable,
them.
right?
Yeah, they're very comfortable. I have the ones that have the equalizer, so I use them for playing games, and I also use them for listening to music. And like I said, they are the best.
Equalizers.
The fact that they have swappable batteries, I think makes them the best headsets because you don't have to worry about having to charge them. While you're playing, you can have your other battery charging, and once the one you have in the headset dies, you can just swap it out for the new one. So I think
nice.
I think that's a great feature.
That sounds amazing.
Wait, so they're not rechargeable? You don't use USB-C or anything?
Yeah, they're you charge them on the equalizer box. So there's a slot on the side of the box that you enter the battery and you charge it there, while the other one's in the headset. And then once the one in the headset dies, you just swap them out.
That's definitely nice. One question I had about them is, so when the Pulse 3D, they have a strap that looks nice. It doesn't look like you have to adjust it that often. But the ones I'm looking at, or that I ordered, the SteelSeries 7, they have a strap. Is yours a strap? I'm just curious how that is.
Yeah, mine is a strap that you adjust. So it's got it's got Velcro on the side, and you can basically just make it bigger or smaller depending on your head size.
Do you find that you have to adjust it often? Because the guy, the YouTuber was showing he was wearing top hats and stuff, and he's like adjusting it all over the place. But if you're just wearing it, you don't have to adjust it constantly.
No, I did it once when I bought them, and I've never had to do it again. And I wear them with hats and without hats, so.
That's cool. Plus, I feel like you'd be able to replace the strap anyway after a while for like a custom strap.
Yeah, I think they actually sell custom straps. So if you go to their site, because the new ones they released for the Xbox, they have a different strap than the ones I have. So the Arctis 7X, the wireless ones for the Xbox, they have a strap that has like green on it, and I know the ones for the PlayStation have blue on it.
All right, so they're good.
Yeah, they're the best headsets.
Nice. All righty. I'll have to get a pair of Pro, and I'll have to get the SteelSeries 7s.
Yeah, the Pro ones are a little expensive, but again, they are the best headsets.
How much were they?
$329.
Why would you get the Pro and the SteelSeries when you could just
you only need one?
Baller.
You only need one.
One for weekends and one for weekdays.
If you get the Pro ones, if you get the Pro ones, you're spending $329, but you probably won't buy a headset for a long time.
That's why I got these over the Pulse 3Ds, because I feel like they're gonna just last me a lot longer, 5 or 10. Like I could probably use them in 10 years and they'd probably still be fine.
Yep, I agree.
I'm not worried about the Pulse 3D. They're pretty nice, at least for me. So I'm excited to have them.
You gonna wear them to the clubs?
Of course. I'm gonna wear them with my NES Pumas. Which
ooh, nice transition.
Shout out to Shamster because I wasn't able to get them initially on the Puma website, but shout out to Shamster because he sent me the link to Champ Sports, so we were able to get the orders in.
Nice.
Yeah,
I missed that. I missed it.
What did you miss? Getting
you
the
guys
shoes?
never told me. You guys never told me that they were available to order.
I thought you spent all your
You say
resources
GGs.
towards watches. Put all your resources towards watches. I didn't know you
You guys
actually.
said-
Wine.
You guys shared the link and never told me that you guys were ordering, so I totally forgot about it.
No, well, actually, so I set a reminder, but it didn't go off. And then Kaz sent me one 20 minutes before. I would have remembered anyway, probably, but it was a nice little reminder. Gave me a little extra time. And then I had the Puma store up, the website. Like I hit refresh, and it was like, I don't know what they went on sale at 10. It was like 9:58, and it was fine. Everything was fine completely. Literally, as soon as it hit 10 a.m., the site crashed. I tried like 3 times. It wasn't even trying to load. So I was like, whatever. So then I did a quick search and I found the Champs link, and then corporate shout out to Champs Sports.
So are they sold out now?
Oh yeah, immediately. Well, within minutes. So
Yeah, they're sold out.
Gonna have to check StockX now to see if I can find them.
So for me, I actually did get on the Puma site. I got it in my car, and then when I went to go check out, it said there was an error processing the transaction.
this is the bots.
Yeah, pretty much. It stole it out of my car. It's a transmission error. That's what it was.
Yeah. So yeah, and honestly, I mean, they're not even that expensive, and I needed new sneakers anyway, so I got them. I'm not gonna really collect. I don't collect sneakers ever at all. But what sold me on these for sure, because $90, I don't usually spend that much on sneakers, but whatever. The what sold me though for sure on these was
It's actually a good price, to be honest.
yeah, it's not a bad price at all. The insides, and I don't know if I pointed it out to Imamu last week, but it's got Bowser's Castle lava inside, like it's like the level or whatever.
There will be an unboxing of these when they arrive at my house on the Boss Room YouTube channel.
It's gonna be huge.
No, they look really dope, and I'm excited that I got them.
Yeah, they look really cool. I found them on StockX, but now they're $200.
Wow.
I'll sell you a pair for $190.
Dang, the discount.
5%.
The corporate discount.
The corporate discount.
There will be shipping though.
My idea is to mod them, and I want to make it so that every time you take a step, you hear the Mario coin sound, and every time you put them on, you hear the green tube warp whatever sound.
Or the mushroom.
Yeah, that'd be a power up. That's like if you kick somebody.
Kind of pissed I missed that.
Every time you get shot and you lose a life.
Yeah, but I'm not paying $180 for them.
No, that's too overpriced.
Yeah, don't do that.
You got to get the Bad Bunny Crocs if you're going to spend that money.
Right. Or the new Yeezys.
Nah, I don't like those shoes.
Did you queue up for those?
No, because I got the NES ones. I wasn't going to go get 2 pairs on the same weekend.
You got to wear one Yeezy and one Puma.
Kaz and I have tried to get Yeezys so many times, I just gave up.
Yeah, me too.
Get the fake ones, the sleazies or whatever they're called.
I'm good.
I do have I do have the fake ones actually. I have 2 pairs of the fake ones from China.
Nice.
And it looks good actually.
No, they look good, but they are like very thin, so you can just only wear them really like slippers.
It's like summer shoes, boat shoes.
So I actually have an update of a pickup from last week. So last week I had picked up the Metal Gear Solid collection on PS3, and I wanted to kind of test it out and see what was going on with it. So unfortunately, not all the games are on the discs. When I loaded it up, I actually had to download. There was a download code for Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid the VR missions, which fortunately, it being on the PS3, I was still able to download it. So unfortunately for someone getting it years from now, potentially it may not be available. But for me, I was able to redeem that code. And one other thing is it's split up into 2 discs. So one disc has Metal Gear Solid 4, and then one has 3 of the Metal Gear Solid games. And the weird thing is, if you actually try to play the first 2 Metal Gear games for the MSX or the NES, then they're not on the menu. So I had to look it up, and you actually have to go into Metal Gear Solid 3, and then in a menu within there, you can play the original Metal Gear games.
That sounds like something they would do to you during a boss battle with Psycho Mantis.
I don't know about that.
That's great. That was a crazy fight, man.
Did you play any of them yet?
No, not yet. I'm still on Miles Morales and Hyrule Warriors, which we'll just skip that.
I wanted to mention that you got shout out to Kaz for supplying the link to underground site. Shout out CD Keys, where it's actually not as bad as I thought. First of all, I didn't have to create an account or anything, but I got the PlayStation Plus membership for $32, something like that. I used PayPal. That should be secure. Didn't put my name or anything in there, and I got the email within 2 minutes. Boom, 1 year subscription.
That's how I got my last subscription. That's how I get it every year. Actually, I've never bought a full-fledged. CD Key is amazing.
CD Keys,
legit.
CD Keys.
At first, I was kind of scared because I'm like, "Oh my."
Same here. I was real sketched out initially. Yeah,
I wasn't going to create an account, but so I was going to get it. It was $44.99 or whatever on PlayStation. And I thought that they said that the sale was over December 2nd or whenever. I don't remember when. But by the time I got to it, they just took it down. It was crashing or something. It was they literally just took it down. And I was just about to buy it for 45 because I was going to spend the 15 extra bucks just because Sony's legit. But then at that point, I wanted it. And then I'm like, whatever. I'll try the 32. And I used my PayPal account and I got it. So I also brought that up because I'm playing Crash.
What CD Keys?
It's a website where you can get PlayStation Plus and a lot of. Well, someone else could probably explain it better.
They also have Steam keys on there, and it's just basically a third-party marketplace for online keys. I got PlayStation Plus on there, but you can also get Steam keys for games and stuff for cheap.
Yeah, it's kind of like a lot of all third-party sellers, and I don't know how they get them. I don't really want to know. I'm sure. I mean, they're not stolen. They're basically. I think they're from different countries, or I don't know what they do, but they get them and they don't need them anymore. And it's almost just like buying a CD and not need it anymore. And you sell it, but it just happens to be a download code.
It's like a thrift shop.
Essentially,
Yeah.
it's like going to a flea market. Everyone's selling keys to software.
Yeah,
Which
there you
would
go.
seem kind of shady.
The flea market.
Yeah, but I brought that up too because it's part of what I've been playing. And do you guys remember Crash Bandicoot?
Oh, who doesn't?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I love that
Of
game.
course.
Did you play the Insane Trilogy yet on PS4, PS5, or anything?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Honestly, it's really tough.
It's really good.
It's really tough.
The
Like
Warthog.
I didn't expect it. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that tough. I didn't even beat it. Like it's like it really.
You wanted to though at first, didn't you? Because it's like so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's like Crash Bandicoot. You're like, yeah, this is easy. All you're doing is jumping platforms, but they really made it tough. Yeah.
My son was playing it, and I realized that he stopped playing it after a week, and he's just like, "This game is so hard. It's so annoying." I'm like, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, it's very hard."
I'm surprised how hard they made it.
Which is a good thing. I know you don't want to just breeze
It's a
through
good
it.
game. It's a good game. I don't want it to be super hard, but so I'm on the first island. But is it only one island in part one? Because we're like 6 or 7 stages through it in the first.
I don't know. And you're talking about the classic one, right? The one that they came out with at first, or the newest
Well,
Crash
I'm playing
Bandicoot?
the trilogy, the remake that looks a lot better. The Insane Trilogy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I got that one on Switch and I beat the first game, although I didn't play there's like a bonus level that's like extra super hard, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing that. So I played that and I played about halfway through the second game, and then I just kind of gave up.
I didn't even get to the second game.
So I'm
yet.
playing it on a big TV and it's in 4K, and it's like immersive. It's really way more immersive than I thought it would be. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that game looks really fun. I may pick it up for Xbox.
They did a good job on it.
You get it cheap too on a digital sale.
When it comes to remakes, I'm really happy what they did with Crash Bandicoot. A lot of games that they tried to bring back, they really felt on it. They felt on that with Ninja Turtles. They felt on that with Sonic. They felt that, there's a lot of games that they tried to just bring back to life, and they just.
Well, the one Sonic was great.
Well, Sonic Mania, yeah, Sonic Mania was really good, but Sonic.
I didn't try that one.
That one's really good.
Really good.
It's like a Genesis style game.
It's a mashup between like the originals and different. It's just crazy, and it just looks good.
Nice.
It's in HD.
Is that me or I love Prince of Persia, but I did not ask for a remake.
That looks like trash.
It does.
They can't, because if you think about it, the gameplay in Prince of Persia, everything else stole it. Miles Morales has it. Assassin's Creed has it.
Uncharted.
All Uncharted. No, I wouldn't say Uncharted, but I'm just talking about the combat simulation.
Oh,
because if you think
yeah.
about it, like, the fighting and jumping over one enemy, and you know what I mean, the counter
I like
attacks,
rewinding time and all that stuff. That was
that game is a lot like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. But it still has a place in my heart, but it's not one of those games where I was clamoring for a remake. Almost like Final Fantasy VII. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
I would say that was a perfect remake. Everyone was asking for that. But that one, when they announced it, I was just like, why are you making this? That seems kind of lazy to me. And when they showed the gameplay, I was just like, is this on Nintendo 64 or something? It just wasn't mind-blowing.
Is it a remake or a reboot?
It's a remake, I guess. Or is it a reboot? I don't know.
I didn't even know that it was coming out with a remake.
Yeah, Prince of Persia remake comes out I think early next year, I think in January or February, and it looks really bad. It just basically looks like an upscaled version of the GameCube game with somewhat upscaled assets, but the faces still look like PS2 faces, so it
sounds like what they did with Turok for the N64.
Oh my god,
that came out recently.
Oh my goodness.
Bring it back to Turok.
I thought the Turok remake was good because it's just basically all N64 graphics, which is fine, and it just has the dual sticks work as a first person shooter. So to me, it was great.
Get rid of the fog too.
Yeah, no, everything was clear, everything was good.
That was my game back in the day, but It didn't look like
What?
they did a lot with the remake.
Turok?
Yeah, Turok 1 and 2, but Turok 2, the save points were way too far apart. It was almost insulting.
I never played any of them.
Turok 1 was, I mean, I don't know about now. I haven't played it in a while, but it's cool. It was the first time you got to like shoot dinosaurs with shotguns, and it seemed kind of real. Not real, but the way they move was cool.
If you don't have any nostalgia for N64 type graphics, then it's not really going to be a game for you.
Right,
So
yeah.
just keep that in mind.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, there's a lot of games that's like, for example, like I just got into Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Next looks really amazing, and I can tell that the graphics are not fully there. But I wouldn't render it next to 64 graphics. But I would definitely get that for the Switch to play it because it looks really good.
Which one is it?
The Monster Hunter Next. That's the one that's coming out for the Switch.
Yeah, because you were gonna get Monster Hunter World.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Rise is the one that's coming out on Switch.
Rise. There you go. Rise. I thought it was Next. I don't know why I said Next.
It is the next game in the series.
Yeah, I know, right?
Next up.
So one final thing that I have is an update on a game that I sort of been playing on and off for a while, which is New Super Mario Brothers 2. I have the special edition 3DS. It looks really cool. And one quick follow-up thing that I had is Shamster wanted to know how many, where the lives maxed out, because you just basically get tons and tons of lives as you play throughout it. So once you hit 1,000 lives, it shows up as a crown, and then the next 100, 2 crowns appear, and then 100 after that, 3 crowns appear. And a quick Easter egg for that is once you actually get the 3 crowns, you lose your hat as Mario, which is kind of funny.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You get a crown?
That's funny.
No, just the lives show up as a crown.
Okay, it should at least give you a crown.
That would actually be pretty cool, but.
Imagine Mario's hair was long.
And it was in he had like a Steven Seagal ponytail.
I know, right? There's a ponytail in the back. It's a me.
All right. Well, I think that's all we have for the boss bits. So now on to the boss featured topic.
BFT.
All right, so this is week 4 of our PlayStation memories, and over the last 3 weeks, we have gone over each console, and now we're on the PS4. So I'm going to ask Omie first, because I know he has not much experience with the PS4, but he does have family members that have it, and he has played it. So, Omie, what are some of your PS4 memories that you have?
MLB The Show, of course.
Ooh, I love that game. Which version? Which year?
2019.
You played with the Phillies?
Never. Come on, you know I gotta rep New York, man. Mets all way.
Yankees all the way.
Not the Yankees, the Mets, man. Bring it to Brooklyn, man.
Yeah, let's go.
The little bros. So, did you play the Road to the World Series or whatever that mode is? That looked pretty fun.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. Yeah, I actually play it with my son all the time.
Nice. Does he have any other games or?
He's also a big FIFA guy, so we play a lot of FIFA 2018, 2019.
Sounds like you play a lot of microtransaction games. How much do you drop every month on microtransactions?
I'm not going to give you that figure now.
Is it more than 1,000?
No, it's way less than 1,000.
15K per month.
Oh man,
it's on auto pay.
He doesn't have money going to his retirement. It just goes directly to EA.
Yep, straight to EA. Building that fund there.
So X-Wolf, you seem like a pretty big PS4 guy. Why don't you give me some of your highlights of some of your favorite games on PS4, other than Genshin Impact, which I'm sure is a big game right now for you.
It's the only game he likes.
Oh no way, man. But I really like that they remastered Zone of the Enders. Zone of the Enders is an old game that came out for the PlayStation and the PlayStation 2. And they remastered it and they brought it out for the VR. And I basically I got the VR at a thrift shop for like $50.
Shout out.
So like so yeah, man, it's pretty sick because you're playing as a high speed fighting mech. And when you put on the VR, you're literally in the cockpit of the mech. So you see like the arms and everything. And it's really, it's a sick game, man. It's like a fast fighting laser shooting. Oh man, it's like fighting in a Gundam, but in VR.
Do you remember the demo? Original Zone of the Enders?
Oh, the first one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was a demo. The reason I'm bringing it up is because of Kaz and his Metal Gear Solid as a hint.
Oh dang! Kojima was involved on this. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think it's his game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also was packed in with, was it Metal Gear Solid 2? Or was it? Yeah, I think it was. Zone of the Enders.
Yep.
Does it play in non-VR?
Yeah, you can play it in non-VR if you want to, but yeah, the VR is where you want to go with this, baby. Oh yeah.
Might have to wait on PSVR 2 because no sense in getting the old one now.
It's funny with all the rumors. That's not a rumor yet.
They said that the VR, the PlayStation 4 VR, is compatible with the PS5.
I just want a wireless one, to be honest.
Oh, that one is wireless?
Well, no, I mean they don't know yet, but I would have to assume they would make it wireless or make it less wires.
That would be cool.
I'm not getting it unless it's wireless. That's the reason I don't even really play it that much.
It's like having a life support on, bro. So much damn wires all over the place. It's crazy.
Well, the problem is if you unhook it and then you got to go to hook it back up, you're just always deterred. You never feel like doing it, so it never gets hooked back up.
Yeah.
Which is my problem right now. It's still like packed in a little box because I had to move it for some reason, and I want to play like Astrobot, but I can't because I'm not hooking it back up.
Such a huge Zone of the Enders fan, man. Like I literally my fiance, she knows how to cut out certain kind of images, and you know how people put stuff on their car, like pictures and stuff like that. So like she cut out, I made her make a Zone of the Enders emblem. It's Jehuti. Jehuti's the main robot in Zone of the Enders. So I made her cut that out, and I posted it on my gas casket on my car.
Are you serious,
Bruh?
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, bro. I love Zone of the Enders. It's sick.
Does that have an online mode?
Yes, online versus.
Oh, okay.
Online versus. But the VR community on the PlayStation is not as popular as the Oculus Rift, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, man.
Oh, so that's also on Oculus as well.
I don't know if it's on the Oculus, but I wouldn't put it past it being on Steam, so you can download it on Steam and then have your Oculus play it. You know?
Yeah, I can see that.
Looking, I don't see it right now, but it might be. It might be Zone of the Enders, the second runner, Mars.
Yeah. Yep. But it's just sick, man.
Yeah, it's Oculus.
Just fast pace. Oh man.
Well, it says the VR mode for this game requires the use of a gamepad, headsets, Valve Index, HTC Vive, Oculus Rift.
Oh, so everything.
That's what it says, but it doesn't say PSVR. Well, that's because I'm on Steam. That's probably why. So yeah,
it just says PlayStation 4, and that just basically means PSVR.
Well, it doesn't even say that. But I'm on Steam.
Oh, I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, man, it's bruh, in love.
If you could be one of those mechs, would you do it in real life?
If I could be one of those mechs, without a doubt, without a doubt, cash me in.
But you could never come back to the way you used to be. You just have to be a mech.
Screw it. We played our card out long enough. It's time for a new adventure here.
So I actually haven't heard of Zone of the Enders, so that's definitely one I'm going to keep my eye on. So thank you, X-Wolf, for the suggestion.
I've never heard of that game either. No problem. Yeah. Seems pretty fun though.
It's one of those hidden jewels, those underground games that a lot of people didn't play, but the minute they play, they're like, "What?"
Does Kojima still have a hand in these?
The recent one that came out, the remastered version, but like when it comes to Zone of the Enders 3, I don't know. I have no idea.
I think that's a whole different studio now.
I think Konami owns it and he's gone from there.
Yeah,
so I don't think
so.
I think he's gone out of there.
Yep.
He's got his own new company with a crazy logo, so
it's like Lost Planet. Lost Planet used to be sick.
I love that game.
Then, once he left, it was just horrible.
Well, Lost Planet was that a Capcom game, wasn't it?
It was a Capcom game.
Actually, Lost Planet was one of the most fun games that I've played in a while.
I love that game.
That game, the
Lost Planet 1 and 2 was amazing. 3 was horrible. They tried to follow Dead Space,
and the movements were so unique too. Just the way he moved, it was so unique.
Why does that game remind me of like Titanfall?
Zone of the Enders or Lost Planet?
Lost Planet.
Well, that's more of a third person.
Titanfall, I don't know.
I would say Titanfall was more like Lost Planet 2, because Lost Planet 2, that's when you can go inside mechs and stuff like that. Lost Planet 1, it was just you killing bugs
and trying to stay warm. So you have to kill the bugs, get their heat energy.
Thermal energy.
Some people didn't like it because you had to keep managing your temperature or whatever.
Well, it was cool because you always had bugs to kill anyway, unless you were just roaming around not doing anything,
getting
lost and stuff like that. But if you kept the objective, you were fine. You were always shooting something.
Yeah.
I never played Lost Planet, but just looking at the gameplay, it just reminded me of Titanfall for some reason.
Oh man!
If they launch a Lost Planet right now, I would buy it.
I would get
hands down.
Imamu, what are some of the games that you remember on the PS4? Because I mean, unfortunately, you're still in that generation and have not been able to move on.
The zingers. Anyway, most of those games you're waiting for it to port over to the PS5 anyway. So
yeah.
So God of War and I mean,
good,
of
so
course,
good.
so good. I could replay that game all day. Storyline, graphics. At first, the gameplay with the way he actually swing his axe and stuff like that, I had to get used to because that was like a whole different mechanic.
Using the triggers was definitely very hard to get used to because most games that have combat like that, you use a square button and then a combination of the other buttons.
Right.
So using the triggers was definitely an adjustment.
But it made things a little bit easier as you go along with it because you had to use some of the other buttons for other abilities, such as calling your son for assistance and stuff like that. I thought it was brilliant, and they definitely took a risk in that game, but it definitely paid off, and I can't wait for the next version coming out for the PS5. Hopefully, it come out for the PS4 as well. I'm pretty sure it will.
Yeah, the ending of God of War to me was incredible. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just saying that the ending was amazing.
I sold my copy and I have PS Plus or the collection now, so I'm gonna play it. So let's just leave it at that.
Actually, quick thing about that, I actually do want to mention is so I have the PS5, and with that and if you have PS Plus, you have access to the PS Plus collection. One thing I discovered was in the actual PS Plus collection, you just go in and claim each game. So I went downstairs on my PS4 and I was able to download the PS4 games onto my PS4 rather than having to stream them, because basically when you claim them, it's just like claiming a PS Plus monthly game. So that's just something, if you do get the PS5 and you do get that, make sure, keep that in mind, is you can actually download the games on your PS4. Final thoughts on God of War. To me, it was either my favorite or second favorite game on the PS4.
Oof. God of War was definitely my numero uno for the PS4. Just because I've played God of War, every version of God of War.
That's your game right there.
That is my game.
So would you say God of War and Street Fighter are the top two franchises?
Ooh, you just had to throw that in there, didn't you?
All time?
Street Fighter, man.
I love Street Fighter, but I am very pissed off at the Capcom for the way they launched Street Fighter. I pre-ordered it, and it was an unfinished game. So I kind of gave them a few notches down, and they definitely are trying to redeem themselves. But I hate it when a company launch an unfinished game and take your money and use that money to finish the game. So that is just horrible practice, and hopefully, they stop doing things like that. So yeah.
When I got Street Fighter 5 on PS4 for $20, it was actually a finished game, and it was pretty good by then.
Oh man, he just has to throw that in my face. Oh,
I'm a Mortal Kombat guy.
No. I was just gonna comment on that because that's basically like the same thing that they did with Anthem. I was so hyped for Anthem, but it was like they robbed everybody.
That makes my Street Fighter look amazing. Because I think we spoke about it before, X-Wolf, on not ordering it right away because of the reviews and people were already pissed off. And I think you jumped the gun anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they had that whole chart of the release options, which was very confusing.
Yes, I trust me. The previews and the it just had so much promise if they launched it properly.
Yeah, Anthem seemed like such a great game if
Yeah.
they would have just done it the right way.
It would have been a dope Iron Man game.
No, definitely not. Well, the flying mechanics in that game is bar none. I would say it was amazing, but the gameplay and just the repetitiveness and the content was just so not finished. And I feel bad for them, especially for the developers. But I'm pretty sure that company pushed their just force the game out so they can make money quickly instead of
Yeah.
waiting for a game to really finish and polish it. And unfortunately, when you do things like that, you put a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth. And no matter how many patches you do afterwards, it's pretty much done.
Well, did you see what happened to BioWare this week? They actually had two like high-level executives that were like the heads of certain games, like the heads of Dragon Age and the head of the Anthem reboot or something like that. But they were two higher level like producers there. They just up and left. So
that is horrible.
BioWare is not looking good.
No. And I love the, BioWare and stuff like that. But I felt bad. I felt more sad about it because of the potential. You see a lot of games and you're just like, wow, if they launch it just the way they did the keynotes, I think this is going to be amazing. And then when they launched it, they removed so many features and overpromised it and just let us down.
I'm not looking towards that reboot at all.
One example, what Imamu was saying of them basically launching it and saying how great it's going to be is Watchdogs, which that came out to poor reviews and that sort of stuff, but everyone thought it was going to look great in next gen for PS4. I played Watchdogs, when after Watchdogs 2 came out, and I really enjoyed it. I got it super cheap, and I wanted to test it out to see if I wanted to get Watchdogs 2. So I got both of those games, and those two games I played through and actually really enjoyed. So Watchdogs 1 and 2 are actually really good games for the PS4 that I really enjoyed.
Talking about Watchdogs, have you guys played Watchdogs Legion? That looks amazing as well.
You got microtransactions?
I got it on PS5, but I'm waiting to play it till I beat Miles Morales.
Watchdogs, I would say, when you first, I remember seeing the keynote and, and it really looked like a different game when it launched. There were so many more features that they mentioned. And then when you actually saw it with the hacking ability, you're just like, it's all right. It's different, but that's not what you promised me. And there was another game where you're in space and you could jump through infinite planets. What was the name of that game? Do you remember the name?
Talking about No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Yes, that one. Well, when they were talking about it, it's an infinite universe, and you could do all these things. And then when we jumped on it, it was just like, oh.
Yeah, but that they built that back up.
Yeah, they did an update on it, and it's actually really good.
I know, but how many people do you lose by overpromising and then fixing it later? That's kind of what I'm talking about. You have these awesome plans, and these developers and these artists already have a plan in their heads, and the execs are launching it quicker than these guys can develop and finish the game. And then by the time it launched, you probably lost half of your people because, bad rumors spread quicker than good rumors.
It was like Fallout 76. It's the same thing.
Yeah, Fallout 76 was not a good game.
That looked like trash.
Hence why I love God of War, because they could have launched it way earlier, but they wanted a supreme game. They wanted to really fix it. My son would definitely yell at me if I didn't give a shout out to Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare.
I only played the mobile Plants vs. Zombie game back in the day.
No, the shooting game is when
Call of Duty, bro.
Yeah, I kid you not.
Same company, right? Same company makes it?
Same company. And I kid you not, when they mentioned that, I was just like, oh, are you serious? You're going to launch that? And I played it, and I couldn't believe how incredible that game is.
They just keep upgrading it. It's like Fortnite. They just constantly come out with new content back to back. The graphics are getting better and better.
Part 1 and 2, incredible. Last of Us 2 would be my next favorite game. Incredible company and Part
Great
1
game.
and Part 2 was just amazing to me.
Not my type of game.
I know.
Just in general. So like the first Last of Us, I actually did think it was a good game, but I personally didn't enjoy it because it was so depressing.
I don't think this one's as depressing. This one's more rage filled, essentially.
Yes, I agree. You're definitely more rage filled in this game. Storyline is still very good. Acting, they did a lot. They spent a lot of time with this game, and I really appreciate a game like that. And they're launching a movie on Netflix. That's awesome.
I think it's on HBO.
HBO? No, not HBO. I was hoping it was Netflix. But that's great because it's definitely one of those storylines that you could put into real life. Hopefully, it doesn't turn out like those other zombie movies.
I think the HBO series is going to be like it's like a different story in the same universe. It may not even have the same characters, but it's like in that Last of Us universe, I believe.
I totally agree with that because if you did the exact same story, it'll get very boring.
Yep.
Because most people who's gonna watch that already played the game and already know what's gonna happen. So totally agree with a different universe, but keeping with the hope of maybe finding her. Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
Oof.
Yes.
My goodness.
That's a good one right there.
This game I probably put like 40 hours into, and I almost beat it. But the only thing is, when I was very close to beating it, we moved, and I just got out of it, and I could never get back into it. So I'm very close. I'm very close to the end. So when Horizon Forbidden West comes out, and I learn the mechanics, or I relearn the mechanics, then I'll go back and finish that one up.
I agree with you. It's one of those games. If you stop playing it for maybe a month, and you jump back in and you're wondering what the controls do again, it'll take me like another maybe 15 minutes before I can really get to my speed again.
That's like Metal Gear Solid 5 is the same way.
I got into that game like really, really late. Like to the point that
DLC?
No, not the DLC came out too, but it came out in a bundle.
Oh, the Ultimate Edition or whatever?
Yeah, I got the Ultimate Edition. I got into that whole franchise real late, and boy, have I missed out.
You know what? Well, it came out like the same week or the same day as Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So that broke a lot of people off right there.
One thing I will say is it, in my opinion, it's better to wait to play a game till all the DLC is out because like you were saying, you lose the mechanics and you have to relearn the game again, and you can't really do that in DLC because at that point you're already supposed to be super maxed out and everything. So to me, it's actually better to wait to play all the DLC because most of the time I buy DLC, I don't usually play it, or I'll play it for a little bit, and then I just can't get back into it. So usually it's better to wait.
Except for Witcher 3. You loved that DLC, didn't you?
Yeah, so actually, to me, Witcher 3 was my favorite PS4 game. I know I said God of War, but I forgot about Witcher 3 until Shamster mentioned it, and
oh boy,
that is my favorite game, possibly of all time. That one, I probably put Witcher... So for me, I don't really have an order necessarily, but what I usually say my top 3 games of all time are Witcher 3, Mario 3, and Breath of the Wild. So The Witcher 3 is the game that really got me into gaming, like sort of back into it, because I had a PS3, but then I wasn't playing for a while. And then when I got the PS4, the first game that I got the PS4 for was to play Battlefront, which that was bad. So I got it and I didn't really play it. So then I played Shadow of Mordor. I really liked that. And then I played The Witcher and I just like lost myself in that. I played all the DLC, played through it. It was a gorgeous game. And
yeah, I feel like the graphics on Witcher 3 were really, really good.
Yeah, and it has a free next-gen upgrade. So I'm excited to play it on the PS5 to see when that comes through.
I could never get into the Witcher 3, the TV show, the Netflix series.
Oh, I love that show.
That thing is amazing.
I got into the show pretty easy. I didn't get into the game at all. I didn't play 1, 2, or 3.
For me, it was the opposite.
Really? I tried 4 separate times to get into the game, and I know it's good. I literally tried. I bought it when it first came out. I sold it. I bought it again. Then I downloaded it. I can't do it. And the last one, I tried to give it a hardcore go, and I tried to get really into it and the side quests and everything. And I played maybe 8 hours and then I just stopped again. That's one of those games too where you can't really stop.
it just really clicked with me. So, I mean, I'm really into that kind of like medieval, like Lord of the Rings type style. I know it's a little more hardcore than that, but that whole style I really enjoy. So, getting into it was really cool. And now that, CD Projekt Red, they're coming out with Cyberpunk, that's going to be pretty dope too.
You're getting that, right?
I mean,
are all of you getting that?
Oh yeah,
all of us are getting it.
I guess I have to now.
Yeah,
yes, you do.
You kind of have to. Just
you
unless
have
it
to.
comes out, it gets like a 5 out of 10 or something right away.
No.
Is it multiplayer?
It's single player.
Single player now, multiplayer online comes out in 2022, which apparently they say is actually a full separate game.
Wow.
Oh, that's perfect.
Wait, like another purchase or?
No, it's like an add-on, but it's like new missions and stuff like that.
That's what I'm talking about. They're already thinking of the future.
Yep.
That's cool.
It's like GTA 5. They're going to just keep running with it forever.
Yeah.
That's the way you gotta do it with these games. You gotta constantly come out with content to increase the play value of these games. You can't just drop a game and then come out with DLCs afterwards after you try to pull in information.
Which is why you can't mess up the launch, because if you mess up the launch, you're messing up like 5 or 10
It's
years
over.
of revenue streams.
Yeah.
Agreed. Well, games cost a lot more to make than movies nowadays, which is insane. What about Sekiro?
I've not played that game. I'm not a big like Souls type or From Software. Like I don't really want to die over and over again, other than in Cuphead, which I surpassed Cuphead knowing that. But for some reason Sekiro I didn't want to. Although now that on PS5 it has sort of a better frame rate, maybe I might check it out, but we'll see.
I don't know. I doubt it.
Yeah, I won't. I probably won't. I definitely won't. I like the idea of that, but I won't do it. Although one game I do really want to check out, and I did purposely not get this now, and I know this is on Imamu's list, is Ghost of Tsushima, and that one actually has a 30 frames to 60 frame upgrade on the PS5 version.
That's what I'm talking about.
The storyline on that game is great, and that would probably be the only game that would make me switch to PlayStation. I love the storyline of that game.
You should come on over.
And it has an online mode now that you can actually it's its own separate game. Oh yeah, it's its own separate game. You can go on a mission with 4 people. You can actually, level up either you can either be a ninja, you can be a samurai, you can be a ronin, you can choose which class you want to be. Each one has their own special abilities. Like you can go into, it's crazy. You can level up your weapon.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's its own separate game. They did a phenomenal job with that.
Yeah, it's another franchise. Sony's unstoppable with the exclusives. That's why I like that better than Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess they're already starting to work on a sequel to that, so that's going to be pretty awesome. So Ghost of Tsushima is definitely a game that I'm going to check out in the future. Imamu, what about you? What's your opinion on it?
Ghost of Tsushima, I love a good ninja story, and I feel like these guys are really killing it right now. What was that? The Ninja Gaiden type of gameplay I used to love. I hated the camera angles, but when you're bringing in old, true, like Japanese, Chinese, real lores into gameplay, and they actually did their homework and keeping it as authentic, I am in love with these games.
Especially the fact that it's a Western studio making a game about Japanese history is pretty incredible.
It is, and you can see like they're not disrespecting it in any way.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
I got one for you though for PS4. PS4 Tetris Effect. Did anyone play that? That's what I think of when I think of.
That's a great game.
But Tetris Effect was.
That's on the vinyl right next to me right now. The vinyl soundtrack.
Yeah, Tetris Effect is awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So when I think of PS4, I think of that. Did you beat it?
You do? That's so funny that you think of Tetris
I didn't beat it
for PS4.
I love that game. I love it.
No, I hear you, but it's just kind of funny.
I know.
Even though this is PlayStation 4 memories, like when you talk about Tetris, for the PSP, man, I love this game called Luminous.
I remember that. It came back out.
Yeah, it came out recently.
It's out for the Switch now.
Recently?
Yeah, there's like a newer version of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's not even that old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be good. I mean, didn't Limited Run Games do it? Or I don't remember who did it.
Shamster, I think you ordered it, actually.
I think I canceled it or sold it. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he sold it.
Wasn't there a remastered version of that game, of the Luminous game?
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, it's music based. It's a puzzle.
No, it's beautiful. It was just beautiful. That was a great way of showing the OLED of the screen, of how colorful it was. Definitely.
And the using headphones on that was really good. The original.
Yeah, the original.
One quick other game I did want to mention is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Ooh.
I played that game last year. It's a great game, and I had so much fun with it. It is a little janky, but it seems that EA is actually putting money into the sequel of it because it did so well. So apparently, one-player games actually do still sell. Weird, right?
There's a lot of one-player games. That game's good. It's too much backtracking for me, and it's definitely a Souls-like almost. I think I don't play a lot of the Souls games at all, so but that's what I heard, and that's probably why I didn't love it. But I definitely liked it. It's definitely a good game. Just a little too much backtracking and a little janky, like Kaz mentioned.
Yeah, so Uncharted 4, that was a great game, as well as the Nathan Drake collection. That's actually how I played Uncharted 3, because I didn't play that back on the PS3, because I did play 1 and 2, I believe, on the PS3. Those are great remakes, and those games I thought looked so good. And then I played Uncharted 4, and I'm like, wow, this looks even better.
Did you ever beat it?
Yeah, I beat all 4 of them.
I'm still like close to the end of 1.4. I'm gonna play it, but or finish it. But the Jeep scene where you're getting, I think it's a Jeep or a truck where you're getting dragged, that was intense.
Yeah.
Now the Jeep scenes when you have to climb up the mountain in the mud and all that stuff. But yeah, that's
I remember that. That was good.
That's definitely a good game.
That's actually where I left off. Like I stopped playing it for a while, and then I beat God of War, and I was real hyped on PlayStation stuff. So I went back and beat it at that point.
Did you do any of the PSVR stuff at all?
No.
How about any of you?
X-Wolf definitely has one.
Yep.
What games did you play for that? Well, you said Zone of the Enders.
Zone of the Enders and then Beat Saber.
Beat Saber, yeah, that's pretty cool.
X-Wolf, have you played Super Hot VR?
That's good.
That's the shooting one, right? I've seen it. I didn't play it.
I would say if you see that on a sale, get it. It's the most fun VR game that I've ever played. It's so good.
So that's a shout out to
Super Hot VR.
The one I want to shout out is Thumper. You can get that cheap.
Which one's Thumper?
Thumper is it's a music rhythm game, but but it's not. It's like you're on like a track, kind of reminds me of F-Zero. The music is just like crazy. The visuals are psychedelic, and when you're like riding, it's almost like a roller coaster. But you have to, every time you hit a corner, you have to push the button to the beat. It's kind of really hard to explain, but you can get it cheap, and it's really really good. It's got a lot of respect. What's cool though, when you're doing it, just look back. You can kind of see like the track going behind you, and you're flying through it too. And there's boss battles, like rhythm boss battles. Sick. It's like psychedelic, kind of like it's trippy for sure. But every time I let anyone try that when the PSVR first came out, they were hooked right away. It's worth trying for sure.
I remember playing Super Hot VR at that Spark VR place in Vernon.
Super Hot is so good, right?
That game is so good.
One quick other thing I did want to mention is, I don't know if it's PS4 specific, but this is the generation that I noticed that games started getting really cheap, and we're getting a lot of like sales on the digital stores. And honestly, games, if you wait 2 months, they're like half price already. Yeah. So definitely love that.
Yeah, that's one of the big things I noticed during the PS4 era. For sure. Like you just wait and you get like one of the best games ever for like $10 on a Black Friday.
Yep.
And then the other thing I noticed about this generation was the consoles started becoming iterative. So that's how I ended up with the PS4 Pro Spider-Man edition. That's gonna keep going for every generation from now on. I mean, it was already like that a little bit, especially with the PC, but Xbox and PS4. That's the big thing I noticed.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. So X-Wolf, final thoughts on the PS4.
The minute I think about PlayStation, I think about Monster Hunter. I think about all the PlayStation titles that are. Man, it's kind of hard to.
Did you play Tekken on the PS4?
Man. Yeah. I play Tekken. Yeah, I play Tekken.
There you go. Just a very versatile console that you can play a ton of different games on.
And VR.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we didn't mention Spider-Man 2018.
Oh, no, we didn't. Oh my goodness.
No, we're saving the best for last. It's all planned out.
So that's definitely a top 3 game PS4 for me.
Yeah, that's a great game.
And Batman. I just love the Batman series that came out. The graphics was just mind blowing.
That game, I did really enjoy. I just didn't like driving the Batmobile.
Batmobile,
You did not like driving the Batmobile?
It was too chaotic.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah, it was good.
I love but I do love the gliding mechanic more than driving the vehicle.
They needed to make the roads wider or something.
It has to be The Division. Tom Clancy, The Division.
Ooh.
That was like.
Yep, I played that game a lot.
That was the biggest game for me on the PlayStation. I remember like the first Division that came out, and I wasn't on that. So like when it starts out with that, yeah, it has to be. It has to be Tom Clancy, The Division. When 2 came out, I was heavy on it. I put a lot of hours.
Yeah, I put a lot of hours too. Yep, this game's great. You know what? I may just start playing that again because I stopped playing. That game's too involved. But yeah, you brought it back. I may just have to start playing again.
So yeah, PS4, what a great console. For some, it's still current gen. For others, like Shamster and I, it's last gen.
Yeah, way last gen.
Overall, great console.
Yep.
One of the best for me.
Definitely one of the best.
Thank you for listening to The Boss Room. I want to thank our special guests, Omie and X-Wolf.
Hey, we're here.
You can find us on Twitter at @the_bossroom. You can also find us on our YouTube channel if you search The Boss Room. Thank you and have a great night.